Welcome back to Whatever We Want, a podcast about celebrating storytelling. Daniel, how
Jake,
are you doing?
It's been a hot minute, dude.
Yes, for those who don't know, you probably noticed we kind of pulled back in October to like an upload every other week instead of every week. That's because I was actually back in Pennsylvania for an entire month, and it was really on me. I didn't record enough ahead of time, but we recorded the one episode in person, which went out last week, but we're back now. I'm back in California. You're back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I didn't really go anywhere, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're back. Yeah, you're back because the last episode we were like in Gettysburg. Now you're back in.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we were out of the usual hole.
I won't dox you.
Yeah,
the usual. Now we're at the old hole. Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, I don't like that phrasing.
But yeah, so a lot has happened, and like, we kind of touched on it last week, but like the writer's strike is officially done at this point. But still, at this point, the actor's strike is going on.
Very
and
much
ongoing.
active. Yeah.
Yeah, they're apparently like negotiations have been ongoing this week. Apparently, both parties are at this time still at the table. I've heard rumors that potentially they're gonna like leave the table if things aren't resolved soon, because Hollywood kind of shuts down December-ish anyways for the holidays. So like it wouldn't make sense to like get a deal, like fight for a deal in a studio's mind, and then like resolve it beginning of December, and then they have a like month off. They can't do productions anyway. So I think in the studio's mind that maybe they're like trying to wait them out even longer if it comes to that. But I don't know.
That's kind of scummy.
I don't know the inner workings of the businessmen. Yeah, because of the actors strike still ongoing, we're not talking about like movies or new releases or anything, but please leave your comments below, recommendations of what we should talk about once the strikes end. But instead, we're talking about who should get the next biopic, depending on how you say it.
Yeah, I always say it like that. I always say biopic.
Do you actually? Really?
No, because I'm stupid.
Oh.
like
I'm
I
look
say
up pronunciation.
What else do I say weird on purpose? Jalapeno.
It's a biopic. What? Like for gelato?
Salmon? No, for jalapeno.
Oh, jalapeno.
Why would I call it gelato?
That's why I was confused. That's why it was so confusing. Dude, what about a jalapeno or a jalapeno gelato? Not great.
Yeah, that'd be. Is that
icy
like,
spicy? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be like cold and hot at the same time, but like I don't know if I'd like that.
It's icy spicy. That's like a good marketing thing.
That's a good.
No one take that. I'm patenting that because you definitely patent slogans you come up with immediately.
It's hip. It's wow and how.
It's Corral. Whoa! Wait a minute.
Golden Corral. We're actually sponsored, guys. This is a
sponsor for Golden Corral's new item, the icy spicy jalapeno gelati. Just kidding.
It's so freaking hard to say.
I know. I really struggle with that.
It's like a mouthful, dude.
Just like the jalapeno gelati is. Hey, we're
dude, we got a mouthful of that. I feel like that'd be painful. Like imagine that. Like you put in like a whole mouthful. It'd be cool, like texture wise, but like it'd be burning. How would you even do that?
That's the excitement
of
it.
We should do that, honestly.
Yeah. I think we got to do a whole food thing. We got to get a whole food merch line. We got to have that. We got to have girth to crisp for fries. Dude, I mean, you know how you like dip fries in milkshake? What if you dip fries in your jalapeno gelati? And I wonder what girth to crisp ratio would be the precise fry to dip in that. What do you think is the right, just aside from this hypothetical jalapeno whatever, what do you think is the right girth to crisp ratio for a fry to dip in milkshakes? I'm curious.
They need to be okay, so they can't be like steak fries because like
they're too floppy.
They're softer. Yeah, they'll be floppy and softer in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So you need to have something that has enough surface area of the crisp.
Yes, that you can actually get some
to counterbalance the weight of the So it's also all right if you do like 2 or 3 like fries and you do it at the same time. So that's why I think McDonald's or Wendy's fries work very well with that. Yeah.
I think Wendy's would be good. Yeah, because if you don't have enough girth, then you're not getting enough milkshake. Like I guess you need like a proper ratio.
Well, if you think about it, right? Like if you do like 3 fries, right? You're having 2 bars, like vertically,
like a fork, like a pitchfork
of strength. If you think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just being outside, you got the crunch in the middle for extra girth strength.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's weird to think about.
How does that math work? If you have like say you have a girth to crisp ratio
Material
of
scientists. We need to get a room.
No,
with
but say
actual, like material science.
say you have a girth to crisp ratio of 1, like a fry that's like you measure as like 1 girth to 1 crisp, like on each scale. If you then have 3 fries in a row, does that equate 1 to 1, or does like because you're increasing the girth by 1 each time, but you're not increasing, I guess, the overall crisp? Because, like, it's the same crispiness per fry.
There'd have to be a coefficient to...
We were so off track.
Well, yeah, we really are. Because if you... Well, I also want to talk about this now. Because if you think about it, right? Because you're comparing your perimeter, right? Or your surface area. Like, if you're thinking, like... Think of it like a vertical
What about
slice.
in 3D space? If you have, like,
Right?
3 wide and 3 deep of fry, like a fry cube.
Yeah, but then you have overlapping fries. That doesn't work.
Does it not? I think that sounds amazing.
A cube of... Let's just be a potato.
We just gone back to potato. That's so true. Wait a minute.
I was like,
Just pull out a baked potato. The perfect girth to crisp ratio.
Oh my god.
Okay, we can talk about this maybe in food for thought. We should get into the main segment of the week. So we're talking about biopics or biopics, however Daniel wants to say it, about who we think should get the next biopic, because biopics have been kind of, I mean, they've been around for a while, but like recent years, at least in memory, like there's been a lot of good ones in my opinion, like Bohemian Rhapsody on Freddie Mercury, Rocket Man with Elton John, Steve Jobs freaking had 2.
Yeah, like
he
2?
had Steve
I thought he
Jobs
had 3.
and Jobs.
I thought there was technically
had
3.
He had the Ashton Kutcher one and the Michael Fassbender
Because I thought there
one.
was those 2 that came out at the same time.
And I don't know what the third one was.
Yeah, and I thought there was one before that.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I know those are definitely the 2 that I remember.
Yeah, I like the Michael Fassbender one better in my opinion than the Ashton Kutcher one. Just the way they framed it. But then we had the Elvis one. I saw on my plane ride back here that there's like the big George Foreman is finally out. So there's a biopic on George Foreman about him like boxing and then starting the grill. Or like not starting the grill, but like I think he just kind of signed his likeness to promote the grill and it kind of blew up. I don't really know. I didn't watch it. There's the Whitney Houston one. They had that Michael Jordan one kind of like with Air, but it's kind of just like a piece of his life.
Would the Christopher Robin one count?
Was Christopher Robin a real person?
I thought it was like the actual author from the way they did it in the movie, and I thought he was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was an
did
actual
he make
guy.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Oh no! He was the basis of the character Christopher Robin in his father's Winnie the Pooh stories.
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
But I don't know if that counts or not with how they did the film.
Oh my gosh, he passed away in 1996. I didn't know he was that recent. Okay, cool. Yeah. Dang. I don't know because I don't know if that one would count, but maybe.
I just remember it's Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah. But we also have like kind of that Michael Jordan one kind of bridges the territory into like also biopics about like founders of like companies. So like or like the starts of like impactful companies like The Social Network, like with starting a Facebook and like Mark Zuckerberg, that like I've considered that a very good biopic. And there's like BlackBerry, Vice, which is like the story of Vice President. I forget which one, but Christian Bale was in it. The Theory of Everything, which is the one about Stephen Hawking. Mm-hmm. There's I guess Oppenheimer is kind of a biopic. Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street. Could you consider a biopic?
I mean, technically. I don't know how much of it was
real guy.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how much of it was accurate.
I see him making TikToks now.
Yeah.
I think he said the pen thing wasn't like entirely accurate, but some of it was accurate. I don't know. The Founder, the one about like starting at McDonald's.
Yeah, there's so many. Come to think of it, like
I know. I was doing research.
Really like, man, they're really like this is kind of like a niche thing.
Elvis
I'm like,
one?
oh wait, actually, there's so many. Yeah.
I know. There was one I just watched called Into the Wild, and it's like a biopic about this guy that like wasn't really famous or anything, but like in the 90s he like graduated college and immediately after just like kind of left his family and like left his future behind and just like traveled the country to find like the meaning of happiness and like went on all these adventures, like working on farms and just hitchhiking across the country. And it's about like just kind of like finding what's important in life, and it was really good. I think Sean Penn directed it.
Would this also include like shows?
Like what shows or biopics?
Dahmer.
I haven't seen Dahmer.
Or like Tiger King.
Maybe. I was more thinking movies just because, but we could consider that. I guess it would be interesting to determine like whose story would make a better TV show or like film.
Like movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's not enough stuff in your life for you to be a movie, so we're going to make it a show.
Well, I feel like that would be the opposite. I feel Yeah, I feel like if there's a lot of stuff like to cram in, you couldn't cram it in. Because isn't The Rock? I think The Rock has a TV show called like Young Rock or something like that. It's about the story. I've seen clips of that actually, where it's about like him getting started like in high school playing football, and then that didn't pan out, so he like joined the WWE. I think that's actually a thing. And like The Rock narrates over it, I think, but someone else is playing like Young Rock.
Interesting. He's like, I rock this guy. That's a rock fact.
It's not just rock. I don't think. Although that would make it better.
Have you seen Over the Garden Wall?
No, I haven't. What is that?
Oh, no, it's an animation, like Halloween-y. It's technically it's sourced from Dante's Inferno. But the reason I bring it up is because it's like Halloween season and all that. And one of the characters, Greg, he has a rock that he stole from the neighbor lady's garden, and he's like, "That's a rock fact." So like, I'm just imagining him narrating this biopic about the Rock.
Elijah Wood's in it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, he's Word. He's like the main character.
Oh, I thought you said Word. Like, yeah, Word. Like you're just proving, like, emphasizing your point or something.
Yeah, man, Word. Elijah Wood. Word.
Word. Yeah, I was just confused. So before we get into like who would make a good biopic, or who like story or life would make a good biopic, I want to ask you, like, what do you think like makes a good biopic in your opinion?
I mean, obviously you have to have somebody starting off that has like an interesting life, and it has to be something that's like it's
like has some drama to it, like some outline of like a story. That's the thing, though. I think that often gets criticized in biopics is that it like sometimes stretches the truth. So I think a good biopic also doesn't like stretch the truth too much, but in a way that's like for the sake of story, that's probably like hopefully approved by whoever owns the rights or likeness to the person, I guess, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like it also doesn't need to necessarily be like an interesting, like a personality per se. Like I feel like that's what it is a lot of times, but like I feel like it needs to be more of the interesting situation that they have
like
to
the
get
founder.
through.
I would argue that like Ray Kroc is not like necessarily like an interesting person. He's just a businessman, but the story of like how he kind of took over McDonald's and like stole it from the original founders is pretty interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I was thinking of the one I can't think, it's like Hacksaw Ridge, because it's the one medic that like he'd go like he would not go in with like a service weapon. Like he was very anti-weapon, but he wanted to go into the field, and like it was the main actor was Andrew Garfield, so you might remember seeing like clips.
That actually reminds me of another Andrew Garfield biopic that just came out, the one about the guy that wrote Rent. Oh my gosh, what was that one called? It's a musical, and he's really good in that.
But my point I'm trying to make here is like that. Like, of course, that's an interesting character in that sense of like that like moral that they have, but also the film's about
tick boom,
a situation that he was in to where he had to literally save, I think it was like 30, 40 guys from being like on the front lines, being bombarded in the middle of the night. So yeah, it was crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think musicians are a good usually like person to do biopics around. Like we've seen Elvis, we've seen Rocket Man. I think just like overall structure, because what we were saying earlier, like they have very interesting, often hard lives, and I think us as humans, general audiences, often like seeing humans like work hard, starting from nothing, kind of climbing insurmountable odds and like breaking free and kind of becoming like successful. I think that's like a story that humans aspire to and appreciate. And I think a lot of musicians, like especially big ones that biopics would be made about, kind of follow that similar trajectory and like go through struggles of often like drug abuse and stuff. So
yeah,
I think they're a good candidate.
That's why I was saying like, yeah, because like it's tropey in that sense now. Like whenever you see it when it comes to a musician, it is like, yeah, they're breakout. Okay, there's some drama in the band. There's some drug problems. Then okay, yeah, so then there's another relationship thing, and then the drugs do something else. Like I don't know, like
yeah,
like and I get it, but like it's like the definitive like musician story now. And everybody's different, especially for the time. Like, I feel like Elvis is very much different in that case. Because, with the civil rights movement and all that going on at his time, and, like, him doing music his way to stand up for something, like, that was also pivotal in that one. But, you know, it's just, I personally want to see, like, again, something that's just different than just musicians.
I mean, we have seen a lot as I was going through that list. Like, I think what's fun this idea, I was thinking about musicians, but, like, there's been a lot. I think founders of companies are also interesting. What were you going to say?
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, it'd be so funny to have somebody do one of an actor. So then you have to have them do different things.
Well, I guess The Rock's kind of doing that.
Well, yeah, technically, if you think.
Yeah, you have to like cast, like remake a movie kind of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a cool concept.
I think Hollywood often, maybe not often, but sometimes strays away from like actually peeling back the curtain to Hollywood. So I'm not sure how much or how it might be difficult to like get that greenlit or off the ground. Because I was also thinking, I think like the story of Pixar and its creation would make an interesting dramatic biopic. But
that is true.
But I think the way that Disney often portrays a lot of it, or like kind of approaches like telling the story, the history of like its company, is it really like does it through a magical light and kind of maybe diminishes the hardships that happen. Because I think there have been like documentaries and stories about the history of Disney that like Disney Plus promotes itself, and they often don't like highlight
paint things in a certain light.
Yeah, because I mean Disney and Pixar in the beginning when they were separate companies like were very much at odds because like the CEO of Disney, Michael Eisner, did not like one of the heads of Pixar, Steve Jobs, and like there was a huge falling out, and it only wasn't until the next CEO came in for Disney that like the relationship was healed between those two companies. And I think there could be a lot of drama there, but I think if Disney was creating it, they wouldn't want to highlight that tension because their audience is more skewed younger and they don't want to like peel back the magic a little bit. So that's why I don't know if that would happen.
No,
I think
that's fair.
I think also, in my opinion, the case of a good biopic, like one of the characteristics is that it's enough time has passed. Because I think a recent biopic that comes to my mind is Dumb Money, which was about the story of like the GameStop like stock like surge.
Oh, and yeah. I thought you were talking about the one when it came to the lottery ticket guy.
No, I'm talking about the one where like the GameStop guy or like the like GameStop stock, because of a bunch of Redditors got like this happened like 2 or 3 years ago. It was like in the pandemic, basically, like in 2020, like when it started. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like not enough time has like passed really for that to like, I don't know, like deserve a biopic. I don't want to say that, but like, I feel like in my opinion, like
it's still too contemporary.
Yeah, I feel like a lot, in my opinion, these like biopics that I'm watching, like the one about the story of BlackBerry, even like that's even more recent, like early 2000s, but like enough time has passed where it kind of seems like, oh yeah, like this thing happened and it was significant. Like I know what BlackBerry was, so it's cool to see the rise and fall of it. It's kind of like the legend of BlackBerry, or like Facebook is like this huge company and this is the legend of how Facebook started. Like it doesn't feel like the legend of the GameStop crumble because it just happened. like you know what I mean? Though it's like different.
No, I know what you mean. Like
it's different.
You hear about it on the news, and then you're seeing this movie about it. Yeah. No, I know.
It feels like it's too soon for that one. So I think another qualification has to be like enough time has passed, in my opinion, that like, because I don't know, like I feel like I also like learning stuff from the biopics, and like at least when I go into something that just happened, I'm like I don't need to learn anything. Like I remember that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. What if there's one about like Genghis Khan?
That'd be interesting. I think historical biopics could be cool.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. There's like historical ones like that, but like what point is a transition from like a just biopic to like a historical documentary? You know,
I think a documentary tries to be more fact and it's not as scripted.
That's true. So like imagine if it was like, say we found like the long lost diary of Genghis Khan.
That'd be cool.
So we're like, all right, let's make a movie out of this.
I think that could be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Genghis Khan, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, I think. All right, let's jump into now like what we think good people or like even companies would be good like candidates for biopics. Mm-hmm. I have some in mind, but do you have any?
No. Well, you start off. I have a couple myself.
All right. Well, my first one, like I said, the creation of Pixar, I think would be interesting. Just it's fascinating to me, like how it's tied. It like has elements of computer animation and science, and then like melding that with the art of storytelling and the passion. And like the overall story is just about perseverance and wanting to succeed and create like a movie. And seeing that is cool. It's interesting. I don't know how that would play though, because I know John Lasseter has had like sexual allegations come out against him. So now I don't know like how they would approach that, or if they would. But besides that though, like the ups and downs of Pixar, it's like a story about perseverance, like not giving up on your goals for decades and like believing in your own ability, like especially when they're making Toy Story. I think the perfect like what's it called? Biopic length would be like from Ed Catmull, like starting in computer science in college and like going through research labs, then eventually working at Lucasfilm and getting sold to Steve Jobs, and then doing commercials to stay afloat, and then all the way up until like the creation of like Toy Story. I think that would be like a good timeline to see that.
I agree. I think that'd be a good section of time to see.
Yeah. I've got some others, but I want to hear one of yours.
I mean, I'm thinking of like, okay, so it's funny because like I agree with you with it being too early in some of these cases, but there's other like specific people that I'm just like, that'd be really good. So like Elon.
I thought about that too. Like
I was like, that'd be interesting to see. I know a lot of people would be so biased on that, but really, like sincerely, I think it'd be very interesting to see just like in a narrative, like how he got to where he is and how somebody would portray that.
I'm in that same boat with him and Jeff Bezos. I'm kind of like, it would be interesting, but I still think I want to give it a few years to see like.
I agree.
Where things settle. I think down the road that would definitely be something I would watch. But like as of now, I'm kind of like I don't know, and like they also have had like a lot of controversies, and they overall have both changed the world though. So I definitely like agree that would be a good story to see how that happened. Another one I had was Christopher Lee. I think would be an interesting one.
Yes, dude, so he would be so
he lived a
crazy
full life. Like I was just doing a little bit of research so I would know like what that biopic would look like. But this is the guy that played Count Dooku for anyone that doesn't know. But so like he was young and then like he went off to war, like fought in World War II. And then after that, like kind of got started in London in the film industry and started doing like a bunch of like monster movies. Like he was Dracula and a bunch of things. He was like Frankenstein's monster was like one of his first roles. And then he eventually like went on to do Lord of the Rings, freaking Dooku and Star Wars. Like in Lord of the Rings, there's that story about like how when he was
telling them like, do you know what it sounds like when somebody gets stabbed from behind? I can tell you what it sounds like.
The director, the director of Lord of the Rings was like telling Christopher Lee to like scream when he gets stabbed in the back, like in pain. And Christopher Lee was like, "That's not what happens when you get stabbed in the back." Like I know what like he was like basically like all the air's force out of your lungs, and you just like gasp, and there's like no sound that comes out. And the director was like, "Okay, we'll just do it your way."
Just imagine being in that situation.
And he was a knight. He was knighted. So like I feel like he's had like a very interesting life. Would be very cool to see his story.
It's like literally the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah,
like that like the old like drink like commercial things, but it's him. Like he's actually the guy. He's that guy, pal.
He's him. Yeah. Another one I had, I think, would be this kind of goes back again to like movie side of things, but I think Steven Spielberg and or George Lucas have both had very interesting careers, and they both changed the industry. Like Spielberg freaking invented or like created the blockbuster, which changed how Hollywood operates. And also George Lucas, him and George Lucas were like in the same film class, like they were friends. So like I think maybe even like early days before he changed the industry, just like that class, like what that looked like, those stories. Would be
such a good, honestly, that's like a series I think would actually be very well done.
Yeah,
like I feel like you could dramatize it a little bit because it's, you know, but like at the same time it'd be like really cool to see how that could be like portrayed.
Yeah, but even if it's not just that section, but like they've both done so much. Like Spielberg,
who do you get to act to be George Lucas? You just get George Lucas, but like de-age him. Yeah. Sorry, it's just my brain's going on.
They CGI him. They just Jar Jar him.
They don't even do that. They don't no CGI, no de-aging. It's just him, but he's acting like he's younger.
Yeah, they do what they did for like Anakin and Obi-Wan, where they just put like a wig on him, and like that's it. They just make him a Force Ghost for the whole time. Like he's just a Force Ghost, like walking through his life. That could kind of work maybe if they spin
Honestly,
that the right way. Yeah, dude, him and like George Lucas and like Hayden Christensen just like walk, or like Mark Hamill walking through their lives together as Force Ghosts. I would watch the heck out of that.
Yeah. You know who we're forgetting?
Who?
Stan Lee.
Stanley Tucci. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I know Stan Lee would be actually really good.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about him. But yeah, like through the creation of Marvel, and you could also like tie the MCU into that, and like his role in that. But yeah, especially like his early days, like coming up with comic ideas and stuff,
and all the drama with Steve Ditko and all that. I feel like it'd be really interesting to see.
What is some of that drama? I don't know too much about that.
It's. I just know it's there. I'm not. My brain's farting on it. It's like I feel like Stan wanted to go a certain direction, Steve wanted to do other things, and then like Steve was doing illustrations, Stan didn't like it. I don't know. I forget what their roles were when they first started originally, because I know Stan was writing, but he wasn't doing a lot of the illustration work. Steve was doing a lot of the, that's why I have like the Ditko dots and all that kind of stuff for like Doctor Strange and. But yeah, I'm blanking on the drama.
I'm just looking at some Reddit posts. I actually don't want to comment on it because I don't know how accurate any of this is. But
yeah.
I
don't know if Reddit's a place you want to go to for that. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like the fact that you and I like we're such nerds about this stuff, like,
and don't know that much about his history.
Exactly. Like I feel like that.
I think there is a documentary on Disney Plus about it, but I think a biopic would be cool, just like to dramatize it a bit and make it more. Or I guess compelling in a different way.
We should look into that. I feel like we're going to be pointed at and laughed at for not knowing.
Whatever. I work on Marvel stuff, so screw you guys. For anyone.
Like, I'm good. I know my place.
Yeah.
Or my value, I should say.
No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for listening. All right, other biopics. I think if we're going back to the historical route, John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie, kind of their stunts as like the richest men in America and their rivalry, and just talking about like all they had on the impact of like steel and the railroad and like within the Industrial Revolution of America. I think I know a little bit from history, but I think like that could be an interesting dramatic historical piece. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. What I have a question for you. So I think video game studios also like could be good topics like for biopics, like the founders and how they started and like kind of blew up and like came up with the ideas for their first games or whatever, like got that off the ground. What do you think would be like the best studio in your opinion that has like an interesting story to be covered for a biopic?
I think honestly Valve. I mean, Valve comes to mind straight away.
Because they can't count to 3. We'll make 2 biopics and then not do a third one.
Oh my god. Well, no, because they in the same boat that we're talking about, like these other characters doing lots of big things, like whether like when it comes to like the founders of companies, right? Like they're doing big changes to the industry, or they're doing big steps to move things forward. I feel like Valve for the gaming industry has massively been that.
Really?
Whether it be with Steam and their whole workplace for that, to their actual games that they've been putting out, from Half-Life to Portal to
Valve did like I guess that makes I guess I knew that. It's like Valve did Steam. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah
like imagine being at a point to where you as a studio, like you're making games, things are going well, you like things are going to the point where you then have to then be like, okay, we have an opportunity here to set up like the marketplace for this, literally like the front for this.
The hub.
Like that would be an interesting story to me, and seeing like how that
and how they pitched that to other studios. I'm sure people laughed at them. I mean, anytime you innovate, people like there's haters and people that disbelievers, so that would be interesting to see how that come to front. Kind of like, I guess, like the Blockbuster Netflix thing. That's another series, I think. Actually, no. This series is like not a biopic. I think it's just about the last. Well, it's kind of a biopic. It's about the last blockbuster.
Oh yeah, I know
on Earth. It's like a comedy series. I don't think it's super accurate, but yeah, interesting. So you say I think going along with video games, I think another interesting biopic could be more recently, maybe a few years down the road, but like Among Us, like the Among Us team, like especially when
with Naughty Dog. Yeah.
What?
With Naughty Dog. That's
Naughty Dog did Among Us.
Oh, sorry. No, I was thinking Last of Us.
What?
I got stuck on the us. Oh, sorry, no, that's not me. Dude, imagine that though.
Among Us through the lens of Naughty Dog. They just are like super. You like
That would be
pump up the
insane.
drama. They're just like super stressed. Like this little game with little figures are ruining our sales.
Oh my god, dude, that'd be insane. But no, yeah, no, I know what you mean with Among Us because like they had like, what was the first couple of years they were out and like nobody was playing the game and out of nowhere it was kicked off because of social media.
Yeah, that like I think that would be an interesting story and like especially like maybe years down the road when like COVID is more or like the lockdown and quarantine is more of like a thing that people are like just kind of remember distantly. It's not as recent. Like to go back to that time in a biopic would be interesting. So yeah, especially with Among Us. But yeah, also with video games, I think there was. I saw a documentary. I'm pretty sure this is a documentary, not a biopic, and it was about the story of how like Atari back in the day, like they had all these ET games that they made, and like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I watched this in my video game class, and like they like made too many or something, or like a bunch got returned because like it was like a super difficult game, like literally almost impossible to complete, and people just weren't buying it, so they like had to like bury these games or something, and it was like this huge like kind of folklore.
Oh, this is something else.
Legend thing. No, there's like this huge folklore legend thing that like, oh, there's all these like games buried somewhere, and like no one knew if it was like real. And like pretty recently, like I think in the 2010s, like they found where these cartridges were buried and like dug some of them up. So I think that would be just like a crazy story.
I was thinking of
see.
Tetris.
Oh no, Tetris. Yeah. Well, didn't they? They just made a Tetris biopic. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I've been seeing like clips and pieces of it on.
Does it look good? I haven't seen it. I want to.
It looks alright.
What's it streaming on? Tetris streaming.
Because it's talking about like the one developer, and he goes over to Russia.
Yeah, it came out this year. It's Apple TV.
To
Apple TV.
I do. Well, my parents do. I can boof off of them, but
boof.
What was it? So he goes over to Russia, but Russia's like super tight about their stuff, right? So they're literally like on this guy, like spying on him, both in the States and over in Russia when he came to visit. He went to go talk to the developer.
The guy who played Elton John?
Yeah.
So he's a double biopic, man. This is the biopic guy.
He's also a Kingsman.
Yeah. Is Kingsman based on anything real?
Yeah, there's actually a secret society of super like crazy spy guys.
Dang it. It's not based on real events. I just looked it up.
Dang it.
Okay.
But
yeah, Tetris. That's another one. Okay. Well, I want to ask you, who do you think would be like a bad person? Like, what would make a bad biopic? What story or like what person would you like? I don't want to see that.
That's a good question.
Because for me, I actually had Jeff Bezos in this category. Like, I think right now, him and Elon, I would not want to see a biopic of right now.
That's the thing. Well, of Jeff, no. Of Elon, I would. I honestly would watch a thing about Elon, just because out of my own curiosity and because of how well things are going.
How well
Jeff,
things are going? What do you mean?
Yeah, with Tesla
Twitter's
and SpaceX.
In shambles. Or X is in shambles.
Twitter, yeah, X, whatever. I'm not really caring about that. That's whatever. I'm thinking bigger, like grand scheme of things. I see him trying to do X for forever, man. Like that's like his pipe dream. I don't know why he wants that, but like all of his other stuff, like with the Boring Company, with SpaceX, Tesla, like he's changing things, man. So that's why I'd be interested in that. If it was all just about X, I would not watch it.
I mean, honestly, Twitter might like down the road might be that company, like going from how it started to changing social media, and then like the decline with X might be interesting, because that's kind of how BlackBerry, it was kind of structured into 3 acts, like getting off the ground, then like the surge, and then like Apple taking it down. Yeah. So like that, I could see Twitter like a biopic doing a similar trajectory now, seeing how things are panning out.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know who else I'd say I wouldn't want to watch.
That's the thing. I feel like we don't know anyone, like you don't think of famous people.
Any female comedian.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it has to be someone that's done something or has a story. Like a biopic about me would not be interesting, I feel like, yet, because I haven't done anything yet. But just you wait.
Watch. I mean, I know your life.
Thanks, man.
That's the thing.
you watch to see yourself who they cast as me.
No, honestly, yeah.
Who would you want cast as you?
Dude, people compare me to actors all the freaking time, like throughout my life. It's so weird because when I was younger, people always compare me to Dave Franco. Now, because of like this, people have said like Last of Us show, Mando. I can't think of his
Pedro
name.
Pascal.
Yeah, people call me Pedro Pascal. I'm like, what are you talking about?
We're gonna cast Pedro Pascal as the 13-year-old version of Daniel.
So I don't know. But what about you? Who do you want to be you?
I don't know. I mean, you have to get someone younger than me right now. And I don't know that many younger actors.
You know who we get?
For me, no.
The guy that you're gonna be the stand-in for.
Oh, I don't know, because he was like, I think an issue was that we were different like complexions. Like I think he's a little paler than I.
Just paint him up.
All right. I think you know who would be great in my opinion to do a biopic about? Kel. I think Kel.
Dude,
I said that
would be an
country
interesting
coach
story
from high school for anyone that doesn't know, but like he's just like a character and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see the origins of how he learned to teleport. Like that would be awesome.
He just like discovers it one day. He's like, I'm in Arkansas. Why am I here? I gotta tone
like
it
the boy
down.
style. He just like goes on this rampage. Like, but for
so that's what the blackout in the 80s was in New York.
Yeah. Kel. He could like teleport. We felt like he just was like
he's everywhere. You'd be running a cross country course, and he'd be like at the beginning cheering you on, and then you make it to like the second bend, and he's already there. Like
and it's like it was like almost a straight line. So you're like, how did you like beat me here? I'm running a race, and you left like 7 people after me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. Do you have any other last minute?
Oh, yeah. This is my last person, I'd say, right?
This is a serious one? Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Just seeing, like, I feel like you can have, like, a really funny twist with that one. You know who Dave Chappelle is, right?
Yeah.
You said that in a way you're like, yeah.
I'm not, like, super familiar, but he's, like, a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he has so many funny stories and so many... The way he does his bits, right? This is why he's literally the GOAT when it comes to comedy, is just the way he crafts the stories. He's masterful in bringing in the audience to visualizing and, like, living the story.
That's
and
cool.
Then giving it his funny, like, realistic twist to it. And then also bring it back around the end every time. You know, he has it down to a formula.
Cool.
But seeing that done in like a film, and like that kind of philosophy about how to craft a film around that kind of like, hey, how do we make this funny, but also to have the storytelling be done this way.
Yeah, you'd have to like have really good storytelling, I feel like. So you have to get someone good for that.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to jump into the next segment?
Yeah, what do we got?
We could do Quirky Query or continue our food for thought. My Quirky Query was going to be just asking about the Spider-Man 2 game if you've played it.
No, I have not, because I don't have a
Okay.
PS5. But
I've
that's
been
a
watching
good
a
point, though.
playthrough.
I was thinking, this is just a side tangent thing real quick, it kind of relates to that, is imagine if there was a service like Stadia, you know, where you can like log in or whatever, and then you're able to play like PlayStation or Xbox exclusive games.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I guess you would have to have like the hardware to do that.
Well, the provider would. That's what I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be cool. Yeah.
So. I'm just saying.
I don't know if
do it.
I don't know if Sony would do that, like or
Sony.
Microsoft.
No, Sony wouldn't do it. It'd be a third party thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'd be able to get the licensing like legally to do that because Sony and Xbox want to make people buy their consoles.
Oh yeah, I know. But
yeah. All right.
People do their thing.
So our food for thought we were talking about was girth to crisp with fries and the proper dipping fry thing.
So going back to our original thing when it came to girth to crisp to technically we're talking about tensile strength here. Well, is it tensile strength or would it just be like? Yeah, no, it'd be tensile strength for like the bending of it, right? So like if you do like a slice, like if you think of like three fries right next to each other, like boom, 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 right in a line because you're holding them like a scoop, right?
Well, do you scoop or do you just dip?
It depends.
So you don't really scoop, I don't think.
I scoop.
Oh. It's not called scooping your fries in milkshake. You were called
but you gotta
dipping
get
your
the
fries in
right
milkshake.
you gotta get the right ratio of ice cream to fry.
So you have it's
all
now
ratio.
girth to crisp to shake.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like has complicated it times a million. Just it's like we just like the permutations. It's like 5 factorial times 10. I don't know.
Pretty factorial. God. But no, it's like, but you know what I'm talking. Like it makes sense, right?
Let me just ask your preference whenever you go in for a scoop. If you're like, all right, I have a thing of fries and a milkshake. I just want one like regular average scoop. What are you doing, and what like fry are you looking for?
So I usually go for like a McDonald's or Wendy's fry, like we were saying before, like a nice thin but like, or not girthy but very crispy fry, right? So you have the maximum strength. And then because of that, when you get 2 or 3 as in like a line like that, you can go in and scoop.
Insane! I can't believe you like. I mean, I also don't really do it myself,
What do you
so I
mean?
don't know. But I feel like dipping is like you're dipping.
I feel like also it depends also on how cold the milkshake
the
is.
consistency.
Right?
Yeah, like because if it's too cold,
right, you can only
and you
dip.
just right.
Yeah.
Because if you scoop, the fry will like break.
Yeah.
If it's too cold, then you can't get the fry in. It has to have enough crisp to get in the milkshake.
Yeah.
My gosh, the consistency of the shake is now also a factor.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just
Consistency
too
and
complicated.
temperature.
We haven't even like nailed girth to crisp ratio yet, and now we're adding like 7. This is how I felt in math in high school. I was just like, I haven't mastered like algebra, and now we're like adding.
But dude, here's the thing.
SOHCAHTOA was happening.
If we taught math like this, you know how much smarter people would be?
I don't know.
Because people would be genuinely
That's why I
interested.
enjoyed physics. Is because we do Star Wars problems in Mr. Wagner's class. Yeah.
So
food science. We call it food science, except it's just like math with food.
honestly, yeah. But like, no, I was talking to somebody the other day. You brought up physics because of Swamp Thing, right?
I would love food science if it was science with food.
Technically, I think Swamp Thing is a fairy. Or
What?
a fair, or whatever they're called. It's like the
fair-
same.
What?
It's like the same branch. It's like a mythical thing, right? That has practical immortality. So like a vampire or like a werewolf, right? Or like Swamp
Okay.
Thing is in that category, which means he's technically related to like fairies and again like vampires, werewolves, and stuff like that.
Oh my.
So yeah, the more you know. But yeah,
Where did that come from? Wait, when did we
brought
start
up,
talking
you brought
about
up physics class and it made me think of Swamp Thing, and then I was thinking of that.
Why did physics class make you think of Swamp Thing?
You don't remember? Was it Swamp Thing or Man Thing?
I don't know what we were talking about. This was
we
also
had-
like 7 years ago, Daniel.
We had Swamp Thing in the class. We used them all the time.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now that you say that, I remember. But Daniel, you're like shocked.
What did I say differently?
You just told me that he was in the class. You just jumped from physics to Swamp Thing. Like I didn't remember there was this figure until you just said that. Dale, you're getting upset with me for not remembering something from 7 years ago in the corner of a classroom. I am definitely not in the wrong here. What do you
Technically,
mean?
he was in the like front, like top left, but yeah.
Good for you and your memory. I have moved on from physics class in 10th grade, Daniel.
Okay, Jake, I have a visual, like spatial memory. Okay, that's just how my brain works. We talked about this at the wedding. You know,
What?
at the after party.
We
thing,
talking about
whatever.
Swamp Thing?
No, but how people think or remember and do stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Do you think it? Let's ask the audience this, Jake. Do you guys think in words or in images?
Oh, no, I want the audience to let us know who they think could be a good biopic.
Oh, that's also good too. Do both. Let us know both.
Yeah, okay. On that note, we still haven't decided the girth to crisp ratio, but we're closer.
What was the question we were? So
I don't remember. It was
what was the
about
original
like
question
what's
with
your
that?
fry combination, and you got that. So let's just move on. Are
Well,
you
what
ready
about
to
you?
jump in?
What's yours?
I
You never
don't
said
dip.
yours.
I don't dip my fries in shakes. That's something I want to start doing. So I'm gathering evidence and research. and-
Blasphemy. Okay, I guess we're gonna continue.
That's why I want to do it. I just haven't. All right.
That's what she
Okay, ready for Patron shoutouts?
said. Yeah.
We're gonna take another month break. I can't deal with Daniel. Cutie Epic Stars music. Boosh, got Patron, Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tiers. Get you the shout out if you like your supporters over on Patreon. Link is down in the description. You get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you seriously, sincerely to our Patreon supporters. Are you ready for our cool comments?
Yeah, what we got this time?
So, on our ranking what is the best fall activity, ranking all the fall activities episode, Zach Henry said, as an Australian listener, I haven't experienced any of these except jumping in piles of leaves when I was younger. But in autumn/fall, there are a lot of Easter events, which kind of substitute for the Halloween events because Australia,
because they're flipped.
So their fall is probably March to June, I think. It's or April to June. It's around our spring time.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
And Josh McIntyre, also from Australia, said, great episode. It was great to learn of all the fall, autumn, where I'm from, traditions you guys have in America. We don't really do much like that in Australia, just the usual town carnivals and stuff. That's fun.
Interesting.
That's cool that, that's interesting that Easter is associated with fall for them. That's just so foreign to me. It's interesting. I mean, I didn't mean foreign, I guess literally foreign because they're from Australia. But
it is a literal definition of that.
Yeah, I meant foreign, just different.
It's different. Yeah.
I hope that didn't come across as a negative. I didn't mean that. I just think it's interesting.
Well, you're saying foreign it's a bad word. It's.
I guess it's
not bad to be. You're saying, Jake, you're kind of being a little.
I just want to make sure
no
one thinks that. I don't think that. I just want to make sure no one thinks I think that or that. That's
No, you're good.
Daniel, it's been a month. Give me a break.
It's like pulling a chain, man. You're good.
Are you ready for the introduction?
Yeah, tell me when. We just talked about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Your audio spiked when you did that, so it was like a bump when you did that last blah for me. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. Really appreciate it. We'll be back next time. See you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.